Before we get to the news headlines, misleading price tactics, confusing store layouts. They're among customers' biggest gripes when it comes to doing the supermarket shop. Won't come as a huge surprise, but that's according to the consumer champion Helen Dewdney. She's put together a list of what annoys us most when doing the weekly shopping, and we can speak to her now. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
Misleading price tactics. I mean, look, the supermarkets have been under fire for this, haven't they? And there has been a suggestion that they need to do something about it, which certainly did a super complaint against it. What have you found here?
I found that's probably the top gripe for everybody is the misleading prices, and also the offers that come with all that. The things that the packets of things that are £4, but if you buy 3 for a tenner, it's why can't you just make them all £3.33? Those are the offers and the prices of when it's a weight that they give for 450 grams of something is half price, but a very similar product you can buy 3 for 2. Not knowing what's the best offer is that those tactics are out there, but you're not sure what to do about it.
Well, no, that's true though. But if we're wise to it, if you're saying this is something that people tell you is one of their biggest gripes, they're wise to it. Why don't we think about it more? It's not that hard to work out. Is it because we're just saying, well, we haven't got all the time in the world when we're doing our shopping, and we just chuck stuff in the trolley, or what?
I think that it's also, if people don't go with the list, or even if they do go with the list and they see an offer and they think, well, that's a good offer, I can stick that in the freezer or keep it in the cupboard or whatever, that people are duped into it, so that they know it's happening but they still think it's a bargain, so they're buying it, so they're doing it knowingly in some cases. There are some issues that people sort of don't realise, that they're putting milk right at the other end of the store or something, so you're seeing all the offers as you go along.
But some of it's just psychology, isn't it? Because the British Retail Consortium has said any suggestion that a responsible retailer would deliberately set out to trick consumers is flatly untrue. The fierce competition in the industry means that any retailer deploying such tactics would quickly lose customers to a rival. UK retailers put a lot of effort into making sure they're getting the best products to the consumer at the best price in a way that's right for them. It's hard to know where you draw the line between what you're suggesting, as in some of these tactics are pretty underhand, or where they're just using sensible psychology to put offers on eye level, for example, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, but I think certainly if supermarkets were to move towards having a consistent low price rather than a mix match of deals and offers, people would actually prefer that, because that's what people are telling me, certainly, that actually if it was a lower price all the time, you would see what you wanted and regularly go to the same supermarket because you knew what you were going to get.
What do you think when you do hear from Which, and when you do hear from some of the regulators saying, look, unless the supermarkets start changing their behaviour, we'll start imposing fines, we might consider legal action. Do you believe that kind of thing? Do you think that kind of action would ever be taken?
I think it's an interesting concept. It's probably an interesting threat. I think it would be a long, long time before it ever transpired, if it did. But it gets a discussion going. So that's probably the most important thing, that if it gets people around the table talking about what customers want. I mean, I always say it's really common sense. If the supermarkets gave customers what they're saying they wanted, then they would make more profit. It's a win-win situation. To me, it's just all about listening to the customers. It's, common sense, really.
OK, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us, Helen.
Thank you.
Helen Dewdney, who's a consumer champion.